In early 2025, the Turkish Railways issued an open tender for a railway network upgrade and new construction project worth up to $60 billion. It is understood that the core goal of this plan is to make Turkey a transportation hub connecting Asia and Europe, especially by transferring the railway route originally through Russia to Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, thus directly connecting to Europe. In mid-January 2025, a Turkish investment official revealed that China has expressed its intention to provide assistance in this process and assist Turkey in upgrading and transforming its railway network. According to China's plan, once this new railway network is completed, Turkey will obtain a $75 billion share of transportation volume and become an important hub for global railway transportation. So the question is, since the China-Europe Express is already in operation, why is it necessary to invest huge amounts of money to build a new railway route? Will this new China-Europe Express be a game changer? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. Maybe everyone has heard of the China-Europe Express. Although it is called the transportation route between China and Europe, it is more accurately a bridge connecting Asia and Europe. According to my investigation, the China-Europe Express first departed from China, passing through Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, Lodz in Poland, and finally arrived at the port of Hamburg in Germany. It is worth noting that the operating routes of the China-Europe Express have been expanding and now cover 25 countries and 227 cities in Europe, as well as 11 countries and more than 100 cities in Asia. The shortest length of the corridor is 9,908 kilometers, and the longest can reach 13,052 kilometers, and the transportation time is about 12 to 18 days. Compared with sea transportation, it saves nearly half the time. From the data I collected, the China-Europe Express transports 53 categories of goods, more than 50,000 kinds, among which the proportion of high-tech and high-value-added goods is increasing year by year. Taking the China-Europe Express exported through the Erlienhut railway port as an example, high-value-added goods such as automobiles, machinery, mobile phones, and computers account for more than 40%. From 2016 to 2023, the annual value of China-Europe freight trains increased from $8 billion to $56.7 billion. And since 2024, the value of freight has exceeded $58 billion. Since the first China-Europe freight train was opened in 2011, more than 100,000 trains have been launched, transporting more than 11 million TEUs of goods with a total value of more than $420 billion. These data show the important position of China-Europe freight trains in international trade. So why is Turkey building a new route now? In fact, this is closely related to the safety of freight. As we all know, the China-Europe Express needs to pass through Russia, and since 2022, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has escalated, causing various economic facilities to be severely hit. Although during the conflict, freight trains of the China-Europe Express can still legally pass through Russia. If an attack occurs near the line, the route will be temporarily unavailable. This uncertainty will not only cause transportation delays, but also may increase additional costs. Therefore, for safety reasons, some European countries began to hope to replan a new route. Although the current route has not been seriously damaged, no one can guarantee that there will be no unforeseen risks in the future. And even if it is planned to switch back to sea transportation, countries have to worry about the crisis of the Red Sea, which can be said to be more dangerous than the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. So in early 2023, companies from European countries began to jointly discuss and find a safer and more efficient alternative. With its unique geographical location, Turkey spans 2 continents and has become a natural transportation bridge. It is worth mentioning that if the transportation route is turned to Turkey, it will not only connect Europe and Asia, but also cover the Middle East. This provides a wider connectivity for freight between China and Europe. So, Turkish engineers began to plan a new route starting from China, passing through Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, and finally reaching Europe. By 2025, at the 18th Asian Financial Forum, the Turkish Ministry of Investment publicly announced that it would launch a railway network upgrade and new construction project and open bidding, with an estimated total investment of about $60 billion. The project covers areas such as electrification of existing railway lines, new transportation channels in Turkey, railway projects across the Bosphorus, and key projects such as a new high-speed railway connecting Turkey's largest city, Istanbul, and the capital, Ankara. It is particularly noteworthy that Turkey made it clear at the forum that it hopes China can actively participate in this bidding. This is undoubtedly an indirect hint that as long as China participates, the entire project can be handed over to China to complete. For Chinese freight companies, this plan may be a new way to bypass Russia. After all, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict has lasted for nearly 3 years, and the traditional Eurasian railway freight channel faces huge challenges. Therefore, within less than 10 days of Turkey's announcement, Chinese train companies expressed their intention to help Turkey build this new transportation network. The Chinese company that cooperated with Turkey this time is the very familiar CRRC. In fact, as early as 2024, CRRC had launched Turkey's fastest subway in Istanbul. This subway train uses unmanned driving technology and has a maximum speed of 120.75 kilometers per hour, breaking the speed record for Turkish subways. Of course, this project has also promoted the development of Turkey's upstream and downstream industrial chains, trained nearly 200 local technicians, and directly or indirectly created nearly 1,000 jobs, injecting strong impetus into the takeoff of Turkey's rail transit industry. Therefore, if China participates in the Turkish project, it will obviously have a significant advantage because the local area has accumulated a large number of technical talents and experience. According to the engineer's plan, in order to make Turkey a real new transportation hub, the most critical work is to improve the domestic transportation network, especially the railway route connecting Turkey's largest city, Istanbul, and the capital, Ankara. According to my investigation, China Railway Construction Corporation has successfully won the bid for the existing Ankara-Istanbul high-speed railway Phase 2 main section project in a consortium formed by 2 Turkish companies, helping the construction of Turkey's railway lines and making important contributions to improving Turkey's railway transportation efficiency. Once the construction of this railway is completed, the project will receive 1.3 million citizens every day and provide services to approximately 6.5 million people. In addition, the travel time between Ankara and Istanbul will be shortened to 80 minutes. The Ankara-Istanbul super high-speed train project will be officially launched, and the high-speed railway line will continue to operate. At the same time, the distance from Istanbul to Antalya will be shortened to 4 hours and 45 minutes. Currently, there are 714 kilometers of railway lines between Istanbul and Antalya. Judging from this information, the completion of the high-speed rail line between Istanbul and Ankara will greatly ease Turkey's traffic congestion, while helping to improve Turkey's transportation efficiency as a transit station and promote rapid cargo transfer. Most notably, experts predict that by effectively connecting Asia and Europe, Turkey will gain a transport volume share of about $75 billion per year and gradually develop into a core hub for global rail transportation. The head of the Turkish project said that the country's freight handling capacity has increased from 45 million tons in 2023 to 48 million tons by the end of 2024, an increase of 10%. In addition, Turkey's international freight volume also increased by 24% in 2024. Their goal is to continue to promote these growths and ensure that railways become one of the core forces in the transportation field. To this end, Turkey is planning to build 26 logistics centers with a total area of 19 million square meters, which is expected to create 73.2 million tons of capacity. In addition to rail transportation, Turkey's plan also includes an important project in the field of shipping, the Istanbul Canal project. The project is an artificial sea-level waterway planned to be built in the western suburbs of Istanbul, aiming to provide additional capacity for maritime transportation between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. The project will not only include the construction of ports and container terminals, but will also involve the integration of logistics centers with the railway network. The project is expected to be completed within 7 years and will further consolidate Turkey's position as a core transportation hub through the combination of sea and land transportation. But according to Turkey's 2025 government budget proposal, Turkey's total railway mileage is expected to exceed 14,000 kilometers by next year, including more than 2,600 kilometers of high-speed railway lines, with the completion of part of the new China-Europe train. The railway investment plan aims to upgrade the standards of existing lines and focus on enhancing freight capacity, especially connecting industrial areas, ports, and logistics centers with major railway trunk lines. According to the budget proposal, the government has allocated about $9 billion for the project and plans to allocate $10.1 billion in 2026 and $10.9 billion by 2027 for the construction, operation, and service of railways. Turkey's railway lines are expected to reach more than 13,900 kilometers by the end of this year, expand to more than 14,200 kilometers next year, and reach more than 15,900 kilometers by 2027. According to this budget, the proportion of Turkey's double-track railways in all railway trunk lines is expected to increase to 18% next year, 19% by 2026, and 21% by 2027. At the same time, the plan also aims to increase the share of railways in passenger transport from 5.93% next year to 6.12% in 2026 and 6.3% in 2027. The target length of high-speed rail lines will reach more than 2,600 kilometers next year, expanding to 2,800 kilometers in 2026 and 4,100 kilometers in 2027. In addition, the railway investment in the budget also aims to build Turkey into an important logistics base, promoting exports and bringing huge business opportunities. The share of railways in total freight is expected to grow to 6.76% by next year, 7.53% by 2026, and 7.7% by 2027. Judging from these plans, this new China-Europe Express project has been seen as one of the important facilities to promote Turkey's economic growth. So, do you think Turkey can become a new transportation core? To not miss out on our future projects and news updates, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We will continue to provide you with more exciting and interesting content.